Good afternoon. Welcome to the Commission on Human Trafficking meeting, Wednesday, October 28th. This is a virtual meeting, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Clerk, could you do us a favor and do a roll call for the purposes of a quorum?
Yes, ma'am. So Kimberly Overman.
Here.
Captain Jeffrey Harris.
Present.
Andrew Warren. Andrew Warren. Kathleen Kempke. Here. Lee Burkaw.
Here.
Karen Perez.
I'm here.
Tina Smith. Dottie Grover Skipper. Santiago Corrada. Jennifer Glazer. Glaster.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, is that Jennifer?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I had trouble unmuting.
Okay. Brianna Taylor.
Here.
Kevin Durkin. Charles Klug.
Klug here.
Iris Valdez Corey Dunaway.
Here.
Ronald Vicarota.
Here.
Juliana Hope. Connie Rose. Robert Staley.
Here.
Elizabeth Gutierrez. Gerald Baker. Right, do you want me to go back to the people that didn't answer just to check?
I believe State Attorney Andrew Warren has joined us.
I'm on.
Yep. And does anyone else want to join us just instantly?
They don't even have our name.
I see School Board Member Karen Perez has joined us.
Okay. Karen Perez. All right, well, we have 13 in attendance, so a
Excellent.
quorum is present.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Please, everyone, mute your devices so that we'll move forward and we have the least amount of interruptions as possible. Thank you all for joining us today. In your backup of your packet was the approval of the minutes, for our last overall board meeting of September 30. Assuming you've all reviewed it, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as of September 30. I have a motion by Catherine Kempke. I'm looking for another hand or a voice.
I'll second.
Thank you, Chief Judge Figueroa. I appreciate that. So we have a motion by Kathleen Kempke, a second by Judge Figueroa. I'll screw it up. I'm so sorry, Ron. Judge Figueroa. And with that, Diane, can you call a roll call vote, please?
Kimberly Overman.
Yes.
Jeffrey Harris.
Yes.
Andrew Warren.
Yes.
Kathleen Kempke.
Yes.
Lee Burkaw.
Yes.
Karen Perez.
Yes.
Tina Smith. I don't know if she's arrived yet. Dottie Grover Skipper. You're right. Santiago Corrada hasn't arrived. Jennifer Glaster.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, Santiago's here.
Okay, Santiago, and are you avoiding yes?
Yes.
Okay. Jennifer Glaster.
Yes.
Brianna Taylor.
Yes.
Kevin Durkin. Kevin Durkin. Oh, he's not here yet. Charles Klug.
Yes.
I'll get it right one of these days.
No problem.
All right. Iris?
Yes.
Okay. Ronald Ficarota?
Yes.
Ficarota? Okay. Joanna Holt, have you arrived? Connie Rose, you arrived? Robert Staley? Robert Staley?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And then the other two, Elizabeth Gutierrez, have you arrived?
Yes, I'm here.
And how
Yes.
do you, and you vote? Okay. And then Gerald Baker, have you arrived? No. Okay. So everything's yes. You want the number, Madam Chairman? Or you're on mute.
Thank you. Yes, please
Yeah.
give the number.
14 yeses.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the chair's report. I actually have 3 items that I'd like to just briefly describe to you. I am very excited to report that we've made some significant advances in our human trafficking efforts at the October 21st Board of County Commission meeting. I want to thank our very own Deborah. She's done an amazing job from the county attorney's office, as well as Paul Johnston, who's not on the call, I don't believe. However, from the county attorney's office for their hard work on this item. The ordinance amendment that was passed provides a mechanism to issue special event permits for major special events, such as the upcoming Super Bowl, among other things. With the help of Deborah, Paul, and our tax collector, as well as our fellow commissioners, we're able to add to the requirement that all applicants shall be required to certify that the applicant's drivers have completed an approved human trafficking awareness course. This helps our eyes and the ears stay open and protect our survivors and victims of human trafficking. To that end, we'll be offering our Hillsborough Heroes Against Human Trafficking training at no cost to these special event temporary permittees. As you all know, this training is critical in the advancement of the Super Bowl to those that may be offering the first and last ride of individuals who may exhibit the signs of human trafficking. And so if you're trained to recognize them, it's critical to be able to know what to do in order to report a suspected abuse. In the upcoming months, we'll be working through the details for a future amendment to require this training for all vehicle hire operators and drivers. The second item on the agenda is the Department of Health Services launches a new center on countering for human trafficking. It was a major Department of Homeland Security had a major press release last week. While we have a robust agenda, I'll just give you a little bit of information. In your backup was the press release and some information about it. It announced the opening of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Center on Countering Human Trafficking, the U.S. government's first ever integrated law enforcement operations center, directly supporting federal criminal investigations, victim assistance efforts, intelligence analysis, and outreach and training activities related to human trafficking and forced labor. So now we have a federal ally in this at a much greater commitment than we may have had in the past. And I'm very excited to see that progress made. The last item on the agenda is the Statewide Council on Human Trafficking meeting that is scheduled for December 10th. So that'll be our last meeting of the year. I just want to highlight that statewide meeting is scheduled to be in Tampa on December 10th, and it's our intent to try and schedule our meeting concurrently and hopefully have an opportunity to highlight our local efforts in the area of human trafficking. And there'll be more information coming to you regarding that event. So far, those events have been virtual, but as many of you know, the governor has rescinded the rule that allowed for virtual only meetings and will require a physical quorum at our future meetings. Doesn't mean everybody has to be here, and it'll still be hybrid so many people can participate, but we will have to have a quorum. And since our board is large and our quorum is a large number, I will need you to confirm your availability to attend the December 10th meeting in order for us to conduct any business that might require a vote. And with that, I will turn it over to Heather Curry so that she can introduce the Tampa teams. Heather?
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm super excited about the next presentation. I've been talking with Mary Chris Pederica, who has been working with young people in our community to develop a curriculum, an educational awareness curriculum, where the content is driven by and created by teens, and also they're the ones who are the distributors. So I'm not going to say a whole lot about them because they talk best about the work they do. So I'm going to hand it over. So we've got 4 folks who joined us. They actually got permission from their principals to join us during school. So Melissa Fraga with Leto, School's High Collegiate Academy, Crystal Delgado with Tampa Bay Tech, Arianna Samper with Sickles High School, and Joelle, if I mispronounce your last name, my apologies. I'm going to guess it's Santalla. Yeah? Okay. All right. With Tampa Bay Tech as well. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys to present. I have your video up. Make sure I've got that up right now. But you can also just share your screen if you have that available. What's your preference?
Good afternoon. We would like to take this opportunity to thank the Commission for its comprehensive efforts to address human trafficking, and we are honored to be here to share what we have to offer. Last year, some of us had the opportunity to be trained by Shared Hope International. Aware that teens are influenced by their peers, we came together to craft a message for middle school students, exposing the dark side of social media in the hopes of keeping them safe.
Take it away, Melissa. Melissa. Take it away, Melissa. Are you on mute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
After seeing our lesson, the PTSA and administration at Sergeant Smith Middle School wanted us to present to the entire school. We reached 750 students during 3 grade level assemblies. We also presented at Pepin Charter School and students associated with Bay Area Youth Services.
And now to Arianna.
We were scheduled to be the closing keynote at the Florida School Health Association annual conference in Orlando, but due to COVID, we had to postpone. But thanks to COVID, we used the summer to adapt our presentation into 4 separate interactive videos for various grade levels.
And now back to Melissa Fraga.
Melissa appears to have some signaling issues. I see that she's having trouble staying connected.
Okay. I'll share. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll share her part. That we're grateful for Safe and Sound Hillsborough for making our videos available on their website. We're also grateful to the Florida Department of Education because our resources are cited as part of their child trafficking prevention education curriculum guidance that is going to be released by the Florida DOE soon.
Throughout the videos, we engage students by asking questions. The questions for 5th and 6th grade require the video to be paused for students to discuss. The videos for older students require audience to text their answers, like using the features in Zoom or Microsoft Teams. The 4 interactive videos range from 10 to 20 minutes long, not including the pause for discussion. Today, for the sake of time, we have created a mashup, kind of like a movie trailer, that includes the main points of all 4 video levels. We will know the maturity level of the content increases as with the mashup occurs. So without further ado, let's watch the video.
Okay, so I've got 1 second remaining. Here we go. Right.
Hey guys, chances are you've heard of
Hold on just a
online
second.
program.
Let me share my screen. Where is it going? There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Today we're going to talk about their tactics so they don't learn from it. Like catfishing, they will create a fake account to make you feel safe. When on any social media platform, once you accept their follow request, the hacker will give an innocent conversation to lure you in. From your profile, they know what you like. And guess what? They like the same things too. They start asking you questions, and their responses make you feel like you're the only person who understands you. They prey off the need to feel accepted, validated, and understood. How can you tell if someone online is a child or a predator? Pause the video and discuss. I take it you realize unless you know the child in person, they might be a predator. Well, once the predator has lured the teen in and convinced them that they are this perfect friend, they will ask the teen to share a secret, something their parents don't even know they did, or they will ask to send an inappropriate picture. Because they have felt this connection over time, many teens have taken the bait. Now they are trapped. The predator can force them to do more, or they threaten to show the pictures of the family.
That's for sure.
This is called extortion. It is illegal. How important is a number of followers or friends if some of them are just predators that are enjoying your snaps, TikTok dances, or the spots that you're posting about? There is one thing you can do to avoid being trapped by a predator online, and that's delete. So stop and think before you accept a friend request or send a DM to someone who you do not know in person, because you never really know who's behind that screen. You want to take a chance that it is a predator that's catfishing you? We're going to see a video afterwards. We're going to discuss the 3 things the students could have done that would have kept them safe. First, they started chatting with someone who they didn't even know, instead of deleting. Second, they shared private pictures when instead they should have blocked the number. Third, they met up with the guy. Never meet in person. If only the students would have had someone to reach out to. The kids would have never gotten hurt and the guys would have been arrested.
If you find yourself trapped, being extorted, turn to an adult that you can trust. They can be like your safety net. It can be embarrassing sometimes, but it's better that you're safe than hurt.
What would you do if your friend liked chatting with an online friend? You may now pause to discuss your answer. Remember, you do not want to scare your friend. You want them to stay safe. So let them know it's important to delete any request from someone they do not know.
Friends' presentation is not to get on social media or scare you. We want you to continue scrolling through memes and posting pictures with your friends. We encourage you to go about things in a safe manner. Life can get rough at times, and we all need a trusted adult so we don't face the rough spots alone. And before you go to sleep tonight, we challenge you to decide who you want to be your trusted adult.
So the reason it's important to learn about predators is that they can actually be traffickers. So once the trafficker picks their victim, they start by grooming them. So that could lead to extortion, which leads to exploitation. Essentially, the trafficker starts making money off of their victim with sex and things of that nature. So let's take a closer look at the definition of trafficking minors or commercial sexual exploitation of children. Basically, it is sexual abuse of a child by an adult in exchange for goods such as money, food, and drugs. Essentially, the child ends up being treated as just a commercial sex object. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, every 2 minutes a child is being trafficked across the United States.
Looks like we lost the audio.
What do you think it means to be vulnerable? Whatever a teen needs, whether it's to be accepted, loved, understood, having money in our pockets, branding clothes, or even something as simple as a friend. All these things are what make teens vulnerable. And predators know this, even alluding to the fact that online predators and in-person predators can be males, but oftentimes they can also be females as well.
On this slide, we'll review the list of reasons that might relate to girls being exploited. Now pause the video here to text in your answers. Now text in the letters you think that relate to boys being exploited. Pause the video here to text in your answers. You probably guessed that girls can develop an emotional attachment to the person exploited. But did you know that eyes can move? You might be surprised to learn that both girls and guys can self-exploit if they need food, shelter, or if they have a drug addiction. Basically, both girls and guys can be exploited for their reasons. Although anyone can be looking for acceptance, this is especially important for LGBT. Don't seek acceptance.
We're going to break down the 3 stages of commercial sexual exploitation of children. The first stage begins when the predator says all the right things to lure the teen, whether online or in person, to build trust and emotional attachment. This is called grooming, and most of the time seems too good to be true. When the trafficker believes the teen is ready, they will tell the teen that they need money and ask the teen to earn money for them by crossing the line, doing things such as selling private pictures or dancing at a strip club. This is the first red flag. The fact that the teen does not want to do this is a major red flag. But when the teen feels obligated to do it is when red lights start flashing. The teen knows in their gut something is wrong. Stage 3 happens only if the teen has crossed the line. Then everything changes. The trafficker who was once charming is now controlling, demanding, and even physically abusive. They will extort or blackmail the teen to do more and continue to exploit the teen dating because they believe they now own the teen and will make the teen feel like they have nowhere else to go now that they have crossed the line. Good news is Melissa's going to explain what can be done to prevent it.
What would this situation look like if you guys had an in-person request? Now, it's really important that when this happens, you always say, once again, as assertive as you possibly can, say, no, thank you, and simply walk away from the situation, not showing any signs of weakness. A lot of times in this situation, if you don't do this, you're going to be asked to cross a line by a predator. There's not really a timeline on this. It could happen between days, weeks, or even months. But when this happens, it's important that you follow 3 steps. Leave the situation by making an excuse. Something as simple as, I'm not feeling good today, let's try again tomorrow, can really open up a window of time for you to reach out to your trusted adult.
I'm happy to introduce you to people who understand how to help you and are here for you to reach out to if you don't have a trusted adult. Remember to have your phones ready after they're done speaking. That way you can take a picture of their contact information. What would you do if you thought a friend was being exploited? Friends like to keep secrets, and some secrets are okay. Not all secrets are dangerous. But these kinds of secrets, if you keep them, are really risky to your friend. Personally, if I thought a friend was being exploited, I'd try and comfort them and help them out. And, if anything that they wanted me to do to make it easier for them to get help, I'd do. Personally, if I was being exploited, I'd want a friend to listen to what I was thinking and feeling. And when I go to get help, I'd want them to come with me and kind of act as, support.
Wow, that's terrific. Good information. Great job, guys. You guys are obviously our next leaders, taking the initiative to put the programs together and then mash it up so that you could fit it into our meeting. And I personally wanted to say thank you for taking this step forward and for being that friend, for being that trusted person to assist those in your friendship circle, in your schools, in your communities, for knowing what to do in order to protect themselves. Dr. Curry?
I just wanted to thank them too for taking the time today. I know that you guys took time out of school to do this, and we really appreciate it. I think you're doing outstanding work. And if I was grinning at the end, that's because Otis was at the end. My son was the last person who spoke, so it was making me giggle because I can see the way he talks.
Okay. If anyone has any questions, Arianna will be happy to answer them.
Awesome. Oh, Jennifer does. Okay.
Hi, I just wanted to make a comment. Redefining Refuge, we work directly with teens. That's our target audience. And I just wanted to say, you guys just did, boy, you blew it out of the park. What an excellent, excellent job. Because I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but in the end, I'm an old lady to everybody. So, it goes in one ear and out the other. You guys doing this is just awesome. So I just have to applaud you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. When my teacher, Miss Federica, came up with the idea I thought it was amazing because peers relate to each other, and we're there because sometimes we might have been in the same situation as them. So that's why they sometimes listen to peers more than they do than their own adults or parents.
I just want to say, I just wanted to add, particularly for Jennifer there, on the website, safeandsound.org/Tampa Teens are all 4 videos. So if you could see the actual whole videos, if there's anything you want to use with your, okay? Thank you.
Okay, so the next presentation is from FKQ, the creative team that works with Visit Tampa Bay. And this is kind of a big rollout. So I'm glad that we have so many folks in attendance. So Elisa, I'll hand it over to you. This is a sustainable long-term campaign. So if you recall, we had a bifocal view. One was targeted for the Super Bowl and one is a broader ongoing campaign. And so we've been working closely with FKQ to develop the messaging. It's been through 2 rounds with our Survivor Advisory Committee. And it's also gone before our education and awareness group and our communications and media. So I'm thrilled to hand that over.
Great. Elisa, before you get started, can everyone please mute your phones if you're not, or your devices? We're getting an awful lot of feedback that's interrupting the presentation. So mute your devices, please. And Elise, thank you. Welcome.
All right, thank you. We really appreciate being invited to the meeting today to present the campaign. And as Heather mentioned, we've been working very hard with your teams to do so. My name is Elisa DiBernardo. I'm an account director at FKQ. And also helping me present today, we have Nick Davis, who's a senior writer, as well as Christina Carter-Johnson, who is a director of media. So I will go ahead and share my screen. We do have quite a few slides, and I know we're trying to get out right at the hour. So I'm going to move pretty quickly through my section since I think the really good stuff comes when Nick starts to present. But just a quick agenda. We did, of course, take a look at the mission for the commission and want to make sure that the campaign is really central to the goals to improve outcomes for victims. We know that we need to bring awareness to the community. As we saw in the previous video, Florida is top in human trafficking, and unfortunately, the Tampa Bay area is it's quite prevalent as well. And that goes on all year long. But as we know, this year is unusual because we are hosting the Super Bowl. And there is an influx of this activity that can occur when such transient events come into the city. This year might be a little bit unusual with COVID and how many people can be in the stands, but we do still expect there to be a lot of visitors to the market. When we first started looking at the topic and educating ourselves, we really started to learn about how to spot the signs of human trafficking. And here on this slide, you see on the right, there's a list of kind of really specific signs if someone is under the control. Just communicating and educating the community at this level, we know is really important since a lot of people don't really understand what goes on or how it happens. And then as we get deeper here on this next slide, we understand that it's, beyond kind of these distinct signs that someone's being controlled, but it could be more preventative and understanding their story and what makes someone high risk. So, here's a couple bullet points on this slide about who might be in those high risk categories and what makes them vulnerable and things to look out for. Here are some of the planning parameters we used to develop the campaign. We've had a full budget of $250,000. It sounds like a lot, but it doesn't go that far in this media marketplace, especially during the key time periods where we need it to be in. So we have negotiated a lot of added value and PSA rate with our partners. So the bulk of the campaign is going to be kind of donated to the cause. We are going to be running the campaign all year long with a heavy up during that Super Bowl time period. The geography will include all of Hillsborough County, of course, central to where the NFL activity may be taking place, And then beyond that, for the extended campaign that will run all year long into other areas such as East Tampa and Plant City. The target audience is twofold. Specifically, it's the residents of Tampa Bay. Again, that awareness and how to contact authorities if they see something is vital. We're also going to impact the visitors coming in. It may be related to the Super Bowl, or we know we have visitors here all year long. And then, of course, hotel employees and other businesses where activity occurs, where some of the training may be targeted as well. So the creative messaging platform really needed to bring the community together. It's not meant to scare people or to bring disparaging images of Tampa Bay, but more act as a rallying cry so that people understand what's going on and know how to do something about it. So we wanted to be very diverse in who we represented as victims. We understand that sex trafficking is very prevalent, but there's also different types of trafficking that you find in labor. So we have a variety of demographics that we'll represent in the campaign that you'll see in the next couple of slides. It was really paramount that we communicate how to notify authorities, and we have two different kind of contact numbers that we're going to be promoting out here. You'll see there's an older number in the creative because these are just mock-ups. So we'll talk a little bit through that. And then, as we said, you know, we want people to understand that there are folks that are at risk, and understanding their story and maybe beyond the signs. You know, for a high-level campaign, we're running a lot of outdoor. The messaging does need to stay quite high level. So here's a quick look at the campaign objectives, really to raise awareness around the issue of human trafficking, that there are these signs, and then, of course, importantly, how to report suspected activity. The strategy was really to educate and empower, you know, unify Tampa Bay around this cause and helping to stop it in our community. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Nick, who will walk us through the creative.
Nick, you're muted, I believe. There you go.
Hi, everybody. The FKQ team was really grateful to have the chance to work on this because it is such a prevalent problem, and gave us the opportunity to, I think, inspire people to do something to help solve this problem. And when we first began this project, we took a look at what's been done previously in terms of public service announcement style campaigns to see what we could learn from them. And one thing we noticed is that there's a really big tendency to kind of go dark, so to speak, to dwell on the problem, which I think can help educate people about whatever the problem at hand is, but it also leads to some sort of fatigue with, you know, you see so many dark images and things, and people kind of gloss over it because it's, you know, kind of disrupting what they're doing, and suddenly they're feeling, you know, sad instead of educated like you would want them to be. So while there are conventions out there to this stuff, we really wanted to, I think, buck those conventions and do something that could help motivate and inspire and empower people to kind of take on this problem and do something about it. If we go to slide 10, when we were looking at the different audiences, which were potential victims, potential customers, and then people in the community who we want to keep an eye out for suspicious activity, we found that we wanted to give them a rallying cry, something that they could get together and use, something that could be used to motivate them to do something and to avoid this kind of activity. And one thing we found that applied to everybody and was also easy to remember and powerful was the phrase, "Don't buy it." And we like that because no matter who you are, this problem first begins with the selling of an illusion, where victims, they're being sold, as we saw in the video, this illusion that they may get a better life or some kind of solution to problems for people in the community. There's this, they have to see beyond the illusion to see what's actually going on. And then for potential customers, we want them to know that this is not okay and that they shouldn't be accepting what's potentially trying to be, sold to them. So we want to let people know that human beings are not for sale, so don't buy it in that sense. Also help spot victims. Don't buy what's being hidden in plain sight, and don't commit a crime. Human beings are not for sale. Don't buy into what people are trying to sell. And then if we go to slide 11, a lot of this campaign will be executed through billboards. And as I was saying, with this type of subject matter, there's a tendency to get very dark. But what we wanted to do was make it very bright and bold. That way, of course, it's eye-catching, but it's also motivating, because we want people to look at this and see the information that we're trying to convey and then think, I want to be part of stopping that. So along with that, there are also a really wide range of demographics that we needed to show in terms of who the victims of human trafficking and sex trafficking could be. And we wanted to couple that always with delivering information to help educate people and then telling them how they can play a role in stopping it. So in this first one, human traffickers trick victims by making false promises. And we've got our big campaign slogan there, in bold, easy to see, design, don't buy it, Tampa Bay. And here you'll see dial 211 to report crimes. We'll be updating this to text EIP 411 to make an anonymous report. And then elsewhere we'll use call 211 to make to receive immediate help in your situation. And if we go to 12, we're changing the photography here to let people know that some of the victims out there may not be who would expect, given what you see on the news and whatnot. So paying for sex allows human traffickers to exploit their victims. We've got our big campaign line and instructions on you so you can get involved and make a difference. Then 13, we're mixing up our imagery here again to show a wide variety of people who could be impacted by this. 14 is the same message, but again, mixing up the photography so that people will realize that this is affecting a wider range of people than they may have thought. 14 takes the same approach to add some variety, as does 16 and 17. And then on 18, we wanted to mix things up and deliver more of a labor trafficking style message here, with human trafficking victims are forced to work for no pay. That way we could, I think, address a wide variety of topics here. 19 continues in that same kind of vein. And then on 20, we switch from our billboards to digital advertising. And this, I think the team really enjoyed working on, because when we do digital advertising, social media in particular, like you see here, there's a chance to, I think, tell a lot broader range of stories, give people more information in a more hard-hitting kind of impactful way. So what you see here is an Instagram carousel ad. Each one of those slides that you see going off to the right, when the person looking at Instagram swipes, that's what they would see. So we would be able to tell them this kind of story. So by the time you finish reading this, someone else will become a victim of human trafficking. If you don't know the signs, you and we follow up with what they can do to learn those signs and to tell the authorities when they see them. On slide 21, these are online banners. So what you would see when you're browsing online. The top one gives us a chance to, I think, deliver more information about sex trafficking in particular and how human traffickers exploit their victims for sex. And then on the bottom there, this one, it was really nice to be able to, I think, tell a broader sort of story here and deliver even more information. So each of those rectangles that you see there, that would be what happens within the banner. So we'd start off with trafficking victims may look malnourished. Then it would switch to they're not allowed to talk. Then they're hidden in plain sight. And trafficking victims need your help. And we follow it all up with human trafficking is a crime built on lies and exploitation. Don't buy it. And we give our instructions on how you can get involved. On slide 22, this is how we would work on our ads on bus wraps, like you see there, and then bus enclosures. And I think larger placements like this, it just gave us a really cool chance to deliver a lot more of the information that we wanted. This particular bus poster that you see here kind of tells a similar story to what we saw in the online banner. But again, I think that sometimes when you're around town and you see public service announcements, they tend to be very black or gray in nature. And it kind of leads to, like I was saying, a little bit of fatigue, so they get glossed over. But we wanted this to really stand out on a city street with our bright colors and bold messaging and get people's attention. On 23, that's a continuation of our strategy there. And then on 24, I think that this is a really neat way to capture people's attention while they're in traffic or as pedestrians. And these are food delivery cars to be wrapped with some of the various messages that we looked at on the billboards. And these would travel all around town and give us a really solid opportunity to spread our message. On 26, this is kind of a different visual approach of what was on the previous slide. So you can see more of the subject of the photography, but with the same hard-hitting message. And overall, it's something that the team was really grateful to work on. It was always nice to take a different approach, look for the chance to not just inform people about something that's going on, is wrong, but get them motivated to do something about it, and do it in a very kind of Tampa way with bright colors and a little bit of pride in terms of wanting to get involved and put a stop to this as a community. And it looks like next is our media strategy.
Hi, I'm Christina Johnson with FKQ, and as Nick and Elisa mentioned, we definitely welcome the opportunity to work on this important campaign. And I know we went through the objectives and strategies already, and you saw the great creative presented by Nick from the creative team, and I will show you how what this would look like in terms of the media placement within the market throughout this campaign. So here is a snapshot of the recommended media mix. We have TV, radio, out of home, digital and social channels, and also some print. And then we'll go into some more specifics on the following pages. So with television, we had the opportunity to work with WFLA. It's more of a partnership for this particular campaign. And they're a great partner in that they're very excited to work on this initiative. Plus, they have agreed to work on production as well of a spot that can be used by other stations for PSAs. So it's not just FLA as part of this campaign. We've asked all the stations in the market to contribute with PSAs. And in addition to this, there will be digital exposure on tampaoi.com, for example, daytime interview segments, and of course, a spot schedule, a paid spot schedule in addition to the PSAs. On the following page, we have an example of a sponsorship that we're also pursuing with FLA. It's Kindness Day, which is an annual promotion. It's on December 4th, but there's a significant amount of promotional activity associated with this. And the value of exposure is quite high, over 25,000. So this includes promotional activity, including on-air, social, digital, and also print. And there will be on-site signage and an opportunity to activate at the actual donation site. With iHeart, we also have ventured into a partnership with them. They do have some of the most top-ranked stations in the market. As you can see here, this will be a 30-second spot schedule with matching PSA activity. There will also be some interviews on some of the news and sports stations, FLA and DAE, in addition to some English and Spanish language interviews on WRBQ and WYUU as well. So in addition to on-air, there will be digital exposure as well with this campaign. And in terms of out-of-home, you did see some example of the great out-of-home creative that you will see in the market. So this campaign will consist of both traditional and non-traditional out-of-home. Here is a snapshot of what we're doing with bulletins and posters. There will be a high-profile interstate digital rotary network, primarily on I-275 and some of the major arteries in Tampa Bay. There will be a few high-profile bulletins placed in some key areas, in addition to rotary campaigns with bulletins and posters, reaching into these hotspots, including East Tampa, Plant City, and Southeast Hillsborough County as well. We also have, as Nick mentioned, car apps as part of this campaign. This includes Uber drivers and food delivery drivers as well. So this campaign will run for 14 weeks in some key target areas within Tampa. And in addition to this, we have another mobile vehicle opportunity. This will run a week prior to the Super Bowl, also targeting some entertainment hotspots and other key areas in the market. It's basically a large moving billboard that will bring awareness to the market. And in addition to this, we do have 5 buses. We have 2 of the large bus sides and 3 of the back sides of the buses. And they do travel primarily in Central and East Tampa. In addition to this, we also have a bus shelter campaign, which you can see a sample of the units here. It will be a total of 20 units in the market, and these will target primarily hotspots for the activity, in addition to providing market-wide exposure. There will also be a targeted digital display campaign within Hillsborough County. You can see a couple of examples of areas that will be targeted. It will run for 8 weeks. And in addition to this, paid social on the following page. You did see some example of the creative that will run in this area as well. And we are planning for this to run for 8 weeks as well. Very geo-targeted, just like the digital activity. And in addition to this, we negotiated some PSA activity in newspapers and magazines within Tampa. It's partial newspaper ads, both digital and print, and full and half pages in some of the Tampa magazines, just to bring awareness to the overall market of this issue. Here is an overview of the activity in the chart form. You can see that television, radio, and some of the outdoor components will start in November. It's really just a couple of weeks from now that we'll start this campaign and run through the Super Bowl, February. And then the sustaining portion of the campaign will run from January into June. And those are some of the outdoor components, including the posters and the bus shelters and the bus exteriors. And that concludes our media portion of the campaign.
Yeah, and just to mention, we know that there's a chance the Super Bowl could be pushed back. So we will be, adjusting the schedule as much as possible if that does occur.
Yes, we are aware of that, and we remain flexible as with any campaigns that we embark on.
Well, thank you very, very much. It's a beautiful campaign. FKQ has done a great job of sort of developing a marketing strategy for our outreach. It looks like we've got a great platform to build on. It looks like we might be able to develop an annually renewable campaign based on this structure. We just have to find great partners and sponsors to get it paid for every year. But it looks like if we were to develop a reoccurring kind of campaign like this, we've got a great framework to not only establish a budget for raising the sponsorship partnerships we need to find, but also a great schedule to work with to make sure that it stays in front of our citizens and our visitors and tourists that visit Hillsborough County, year round, pretty much. I mean, it's great living in paradise, and it means a lot of folks come here even when there isn't a Super Bowl or a big event like this, and we have plenty of those year round. So I thank you very much for building the structure and putting together a really nice plan for this outreach. Indigo is about my favorite color, so I'm really liking the color scheme. But if anyone would like, we've got so many people on the call. The raise hand feature is a little difficult to keep control of, and we're getting really close for time. Does anyone have any specific questions that they have that relates to this presentation? Wave your hand or use the raise hand feature, and I'll call on you. Seeing none, Dottie Grover-Skipper. Hi, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted for the record to know that I am here. I'm sorry to jump on late, but I think this campaign is absolutely fabulous. Great job.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Seeing another, I thank you very, very much for the hard work that you guys have put into this. This is terrific. With that, we've got next on the agenda staff update, and in 7 minutes, I'm flying out of here. So Jeffrey Harris is my vice chair. Are you ready for me to throw the gavel to you in 7 or 8 minutes in the event we run over?
Ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you. And with that, Heather, to bring the staff reports, please.
It's very, very brief. I just want to highlight a couple of points. So the Legislative and Judicial Affairs their working group met on Monday, during which Colonel DJ Reyes presented a framework for a human trafficking treatment court, which I'll send to everyone in your materials, your meeting materials. And I just wanted to really highlight that that's an adaptation from an existing veterans treatment court, but it's intended to be malleable and it needs to be tailored for the very unique and specific needs of human trafficking victims. So that discussion is active. We had a really rich discussion around it at the meeting. I think it was a very potent model that we can consider and continue to talk about. Additionally, at both the Services and Resources meeting and the Legislative and Judicial Affairs working group meeting, USF St. Pete, Dr. Joan Reed, Dr. Sandra Stone, and Dr. Shelley Wagers have started a lab on human trafficking at USF St. Pete. So they're trying to figure out how best they can collaborate with us and support our endeavors. So when they met with our Legislative and Judicial Affairs, we had a rich discussion to talk about some potential ways that we can merge our efforts, and the same with the Services and Resources group. They have they're trying to partner with a group out of New Zealand that has an app that does a really good job, not just connecting victims and services, but also making sure that there's accountability built into that so that there's a record of how long it takes to get someone to the appropriate services to meet those needs. I also wanted to note that the Crisis Center and 2-in-1 Connects are moving along well with the new care coordinator position and with the specialized training for their intervention specialists. They're going to be working well with the advocacy network to make sure that we streamline the endeavors to get victims to the appropriate services. And I just wanted to note finally that we're still talking with Pasco about a coordinated message for the campaign. Pasco County came up with theirs. Pasco County doesn't buy it at the same time that KQ was coming up with Don't Buy It Tampa Bay. So we're trying to figure out how to kind of marry these messages across county lines so that we really are representing a unified Tampa Bay. And that's all I've got.
Well, I want to say how proud I am of all the hard work of all of the committees. Dr. Curry, your coordination of all of our partners in this with FAQ, I'm going to do it, FKQ, as well as the Visit Tampa Bay and its penalty, the whole group. From the messaging to the care coordination to the problem solving to the great presentation we saw on the talk about the legislative and the judicial as well as law enforcement, how that works together. We are doing rapid work. I'm so impressed. I just want to share with you how I do want everything done yesterday, of course, and everybody has stepped to the plate to do a marvelous job. And I just want to thank everyone for the hard work that's being done to get ready, not only for the Super Bowl, but just in general to take care of the citizens of our community and to eradicate this crime that is occurring in our community. With that, we have only future business or member discussions that we'd like to add to next month's agenda, given that meeting is going to be, what is the meeting in November? That's November, sorry, I don't have that calendar right in front of me. But we do have a meeting in November, and we can add that to the agenda if anyone has something specific that you'd like to consider.
I think our next meeting is in.
It's actually the December 10th meeting. Right. Okay. Yeah, with the holidays and everything else, I think we run right up against it. So being as that'll be a joint meeting with the state quarterly meeting, we'll have a limited agenda, but we'll be able to cover some things. But we also want to really highlight and shine all the hard work that's been done this year and make sure the whole state knows how awesome our great board and our great team members are. So any other input?
Yes. Commissioner Overman, hi. Want to go back to the staff reports and the update on the legislative subcommittee. I'm wondering if it might be a good idea for one of our next steps for the subcommittee or for Commissioner Overman or for Heather to maybe actually sit in one of the veteran treatment courts and see, just how it operates. I think Judge Shante and Colonel Reyes would be open to that. So I just wanted to put that on the table to see if that might be something that some of our members could participate in sometime in November. I think there's 1 or 2 meetings. I think one is November 20th that might work. So just wanted to put that on the table.
Excellent idea. Actually, Colonel Reyes and I are messaging each other rapidly in the background right now. So I will talk to him about that.
Perfect.
Thank you for bringing that recommendation or suggestion. Anyone else? Raise your hand. Seeing none, Dr. Curry, you have one more point?
I just want to point out really quickly, there are a couple of people who joined us, Courtney Wilkerson and Katiana Colon, who both are students at USF. And after we talked for a while, they asked me if I would consider working with them in an internship. So we're working toward that right now. So I just wanted to introduce them while they're here. They're awesome.
That is great. We've got interns. I love that. Everybody's coming to the table. Thank you, Courtney. And who's the other person?
Hi, it's me. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for joining us today. And with that, seeing no other comments or raised hands, I'll call the meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.
Commissioner?
Have a safe holiday.
Commissioner, I just want to make certain that there was no public comment for today.